The most terrifying real estate story I've ever heard is taking place right now in my town. Imagine you're a real estate developer and you buy a piece of property for $350,000. You start working on the property, you put hundreds of thousands of dollars into the property, and about 6 months later, the real owner of the property happens to just drive into town and see that his house is razed, it's gone, and there's a new construction being built on the property. Well, this is what took place in my hometown of Fairfield, Connecticut, which I happen to be a realtor in this town. We're going to talk about this transaction, and we're going to talk about if there was any way that the realtors could have known that the owners weren't the real owners. The property in question is 10 Skytop Terrace in Fairfield, Connecticut. You could pull it up on Google and you could see the story. The partners who apparently purchased the property from a fake seller spent the last 8 months developing this property only to find out it was a total scam. Gina Leto and Greg Bugaj are defendants in a lawsuit being brought by the actual owner of the property, David Kinnensberg. Kinnensberg said his family has owned the property for over 70 years. He lives in Long Island and just happened to be driving by on May 31st in the town he grew up. Property was cleared and there was a $1.5 million home in its place. The same day, Kinnensberg contacted his attorneys, contacted the town, and this process of rectifying this transaction had come to light. Leto and Bugaj cooperated with the local police and the FBI during the criminal investigation. Now, the bigger story beyond that is the developers have offered the original owner $500,000 on top of the $350,000 they spent originally for the land to see if they could just, keep going. Hey, we'll buy the property from you. We already put a house there, Kinnensberg is seeking $2 million in damages, and he'd like the property restored to its original state. I'm not really sure how you do that, but that's what he's asking for. Leto and Bugaj have worked together on many transactions, so this is very shocking to them. And now they're pointing fingers at the real estate agents. I do want to be clear, when you take a listing, especially when you are taking a listing from someone who's out of state or out of country, sometimes you are taking a phone call from Mr. Kinnensberg. And if all the paperwork is signed by Kinnensberg, and you are seeing the owner of the property as Kinnensberg, transaction takes place and Kinnensberg gets his payment, but Kinnensberg does something shady on the back end with the cash, I'm not really sure you could blame the realtors for that one. So that was a Coldwell Banker and a Keller Williams transaction. That has not been reported, but as a realtor, I could give you that information. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this story. If you'd like to see more stories like this, please leave a comment, let me know. And I'll see you on the next one. Share and follow for more.